It is a dream. The vision focuses on the needs of the Saudi people. Design, architecture. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. At the beginning, I would like to thank CAS Architecture for this opportunity to talk about the real estate market and Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia. Vision is a vision. It is a dream that is achievable, measurable, and can be applied. The vision of Saudi Arabia, it is all about increasing the productivity and opportunities of investment in Saudi Arabia and attracting investors from all over to Saudi Arabia. And as we all know, any project should start with real estate opportunity, starting from the land, the locations, construction, infrastructure of the places and locations that will add to the real estate and the economy of the Saudi Arabian market. Of course, most of the vision is talking about entertainment projects and starting with the infrastructure. I would see infrastructure companies will have most of the work and construction companies, of course, design, architecture for the beginning, starting with the master plans of those projects all over the country. Before writing down the goals for the Vision 2030, there was workshops between all government authorities and other experts from abroad and Saudi experts and the private sector in Saudi Arabia. I was part of those workshops. Of course, the vision focuses on the needs of the Saudi people. The main shortages or needed in the country is accommodation, residential projects, and entertainment projects. This is the most needed by the locals, Saudi locals. Of course, there is a vision that Saudi Arabia will attract investors and it will attract visitors to the country. For those investors to achieve and find profitable opportunities inside the country. Of course, the population is young and it's increasing. The young population, that means more infrastructure is needed, more residential projects are needed. Also, entertainment for the young people is really essential and very important. We all know that Saudis are the main travelers around the region, seeking entertainment or changing or whatever, traveling around the region. And because of the lack of places and entertainment projects in the country, while there is a high potential because of the geography of the country, there are long beaches, mountains, deserts, historic places, so many things to be seen around the country that need the best infrastructure for people to visit these places. That's why we have new projects that focus on the entertainment to keep the people and the locals and international visitors to visit those places and explore the Saudi places and potential places like beaches, diving, scuba diving, snorkeling, mountains, hiking, visiting desert places, off-roading, so many places to be visited inside the country. So, so many projects, opportunities are around all these areas, which are residential accommodation and entertainment. Of course, other sectors that can be supportive to these two main things are really as part of the vision. So there are so many opportunities that I can talk about in this area and around it. As we all know, geographically the country is very wide and big varieties of atmospheres and geography, weather, a lot of changes in the same country. We have, in the south, we have mountains, green areas, high mountains, so there is opportunity of climbing, skydiving, and all these activities related to that geography and type of area. And in summertime it's colder than other places. The stereotype about Saudi Arabia is it's a desert place. When you say Saudi Arabia, we think about oil, desert, while there are other things other than desert. Nice beaches, high mountains, historic places, ancient places, like historic locations. There's Islamic historic locations, there's Christian historic locations, Jewish historic locations, all histories around religious places, especially the Islamic culture and history. So we have so many places that people, visitors can visit all around the area. Saudi Arabia, before, it was closed country. So it wasn't open for investors, foreign investors, and it wasn't open for visitors other than Muslims visiting the places for Hajj and Umrah. With the new vision of Saudi Arabia, it's a different, there is a different policy, different direction that we have now. It's open now for investors. Before it wasn't. That's why there was no investments in those places. Investments before only restricted for locals, other than the oil sector, of course, because of the know-how. We have so many investments in the oil sector because of the know-how. Now it's open for other sectors: tourism, entertainment, health sector, real estate, housing. So many sectors are open for foreign investors. That was the obstacle before. There was no regulations. It was not regulated for foreigners. Unlike today, it will be the regulations are going on, and it's now an active country for foreign investors to visit. At the beginning, of course, a lot of infrastructure design, of course, the financial institutions for studying the feasibilities for these locations, and then the design projects, the design firms to come start next, and then construction, of course, and investors, and the big opportunities will start beginning maybe the next 2 years until the next decade, inshallah. As Al-Saedan real estate company, of course, we will be part of this new development and the new vision. Our projects, we were not concentrating on housing projects before, but of course now housing projects, entertainment projects is part of our future plan. We have already started the planning, and we are visiting those new places where the government is focusing. There is Al-Giddiya project, which is west of Riyadh city, and Neom project, which is northwest of Saudi Arabia on the Red Sea coast. In Saudi Arabia, the highest population is the middle income, which is the requirements is small residential units. The only problem here is the culture in Saudi Arabia is completely different than the culture in the West. So the most popular required housing is detached villas with bigger areas. But with the changes nowadays, I think the demand is completely different. So there is the ability is sometimes forces people to go towards less requirements. Smaller units, attached villas, sometimes apartments nowadays, especially for the young people. Saudi population is young, so they're just starting their careers from the beginning, so they don't have high income. Their requirements depends on their ability, so their ability is less than what they require. So small units, small apartments, they will begin like that, but they will always think about bigger spaces. The culture in the country makes it really important to know the culture, to design the best place that suits the Saudi market. Building in Saudi Arabia, whether it is compounds or closed communities or open community from foreign companies, the main concern that they should really focus on is two main things from my point of view, is cultural issues that really influence the requirements of the design and the construction. And the second thing is regulations. Sometimes you cannot build using new different materials, or you cannot use a new type of construction, for example, because regulations are really different and they are very strict. Sometimes you cannot build, even if it is lower cost or affordable housing that is cost less, because of the building procurement type is different. In the country, I think foreign architectural and design companies have big opportunity to get into the Saudi market, providing that they know the local differences. As we all know, real estate market is a local market in all countries all over the world. To enter into real estate projects, starting with the design from the beginning, it's a local market. You need to know, to study the local market first, especially the regulations and the cultural issues, cost issues, and you need to know about the local hiring. Of course, we have local engineers and architects that can be hired. This is really important to hire those locals, because they can give you open the window for the local market and rules and regulations for the foreign company. CAS architecture is being a European firm opening in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is really a good thing for the local market here, and I hope it's good for CAS as well, and any other engineering or architectural firm to be part of the new development and the vision of Saudi Arabia. My advice is to use local people here to mix with with the Western know-how. And as I have mentioned before, focusing on the local culture and local regulation is really important for success of a foreign company, especially when it comes to design. It's really important to know and understand the local regulations and culture. And I hope this is the same for all foreign companies visiting, working, start business in Saudi Arabia.